I live on the second floor of a 3-story walk-up. The third floor has been empty since January. I know because I helped the previous tenant move out. We carried the last box down together, a lamp with a torn shade, and she handed me her keys for the landlord. "I'm done with this building," she said. She looked relieved in a way that made me uncomfortable. Since then, it's been quiet. No footsteps, no music, no arguing over laundry. Just the sighs of a building trying to remember how to sleep. 2 nights ago, at 2:03 a.m., something scraped across the ceiling over my bed, a long, heavy drag, like a couch being pulled across wood. I sat up so fast my neck popped. The sound paused, then repeated. I counted each inch of it. My phone lit up with a notification, a text from my own number. "Don't go upstairs." I stared at the screen for a full minute, waiting for my brain to boil into a better explanation. Calendar glitch? Wrong contact? I opened my call history, no outgoing. I checked my linked devices, only mine were listed. Then another sound from the ceiling. Thud, thud, thud. Heavy footfalls pacing the length of the empty unit. I got dressed, shoes, hoodie. I stood in the hallway looking up at the stairs that led to 3A. My building has that old, sleepy smell. Paint, dust, and laundry soap. The motion sensor light clicked on, late as always. It was nothing, I told myself. Pipes, heat, the building stretching. I went back inside. I lay down. 2:14 a.m. My phone vibrated. Another text from my number. "Do not knock on 3A. I didn't knock. I didn't sleep either. The next day I cornered the landlord, Ed, at the mailboxes. He collects rents and odd rumors with the same expression. "Anyone move in upstairs?" I asked. "Not until next month," he said. "Paint's still drying." I stared at the mail slots, tiny metal mouths with names. 3A, vacant, in Ed's sharp pen. "That unit's empty," he repeated, like I'd asked badly the first time. "You hear something?" "Just, yeah, furniture." He nodded like he'd already fixed it in his head. "Old buildings talk. You'll tune it out." That night I tried white noise on headphones. 2:00 a.m. came and went. 2:03 a.m., right on cue, the scraping started again. Feminine this time, like the voice a room uses when it wants you to step closer. A short laugh followed it, then 2 footsteps, then none. My phone lit up the dark room. "Don't text back. Don't go upstairs." I didn't move until dawn rinsed the walls. On the 3rd night I pulled up the old tenant's number. It was still sitting in my phone as 3A, Julia, keys. I didn't expect her to answer. She did on the 2nd ring. The sound of a moving car filled the gap. "Hey," she said, not recognizing me yet. "It's Daniel, from 2B, I said. "We carried your lamp down in January." A beat of polite memory. "Oh, hey, yeah. What's up?" "This is going to sound stupid," I said. "Did you ever hear furniture moving when you were alone?" Silence. I thought we'd hit a tunnel. Then she said low, "You're hearing it too." "Too?" "It's not furniture," she said. "It's the building showing you where things used to be. The couch, the table, the bed. It moves them at night." "That's not..." I started, then stopped. "Why would the building..." "You should not go upstairs," she said. A turn signal clicked on her end. "If you go up, don't knock. Don't let it learn your rhythm." Her voice broke a little on learn, like the word had teeth. I thanked her and we hung up without promising to keep in touch. I lasted one more night. 1:58 a.m. I was already awake, sitting like a statue at the edge of my bed. 2:03, the dragging began. This time it traveled from the back of my ceiling to the front, then a pause, then a single decisive thud above my door, as if something heavy had been set down just inside an invisible apartment. I stepped into the hall, stairs up, hand on the rail. The motion sensor light hesitated, then flicked on. My phone buzzed in my pocket. I didn't look. I climbed to the landing. The door to 3A stood there with its fresh paint and blank peephole. The hall was the kind of quiet that makes your ears ring. I reached out, not to knock, just to feel the door's temperature. It was warm, like someone had been leaning against it from the other side. Another text. I glanced. If you knock, it will knock back. I lowered my hand, backed away. The light clicked off on its own schedule, slow and smug. The next morning, Ed slipped a note under my door. Boiler inspection on Thursday. In the margins, a post-it. Stop by if you're hearing odd noises. I folded the note into a smaller note and put it into the drawer with manuals I never open. That afternoon, I found a single scuff mark on my ceiling. A crescent smear of gray like a chair leg had been dragged there from above. I held my phone up and snapped a picture. The photo saved, but my gallery suddenly had 4 new images I hadn't taken. The hallway outside 3A, the door close-up, the peephole, my own hand hovering inches from the wood. The timestamps were all 2:06 a.m. I checked the phone's background activity. No apps had camera permissions last night. I held the phone like a thing that had bitten me. The screen dimmed and mirrored my face back at me. It looked tired and almost eager, like the kind of tired that wants something to happen just to avoid more waiting. I called Julia again, straight to voicemail. I didn't leave one. That evening I bought a cheap audio recorder. I set it on my nightstand, hit rec, and tried to convince my body that 203 was just a number. At 2:03, the recorder captured the scrape start. The sound creeps at first, then commits. At 2:05, a second, softer drag, like a rug being adjusted under the couch. At 2:06, 3 knocks, not on my ceiling, on a door. The recorder picks up my breath hitching, then a new sound, a small metal clink, like a chain being unhooked. Then my phone buzzes, far from the mic, muffled in my hoodie pocket. When I listened back the next day, there was something else beneath the scrape, a thin noise like voices underwater. I boosted the volume and filtered the floor hum. The voices separated into syllables. A whisper, maybe mine, maybe not, said, "Don't answer." Another voice, lower, replied, "He always does." I told myself the filter had invented dialogue out of noise. I told myself I was allowed to invent warnings if they kept me alive. That night I tried to be brave in a way that looked stupid in hindsight. I went upstairs at 1:55 a.m. and sat on the top step facing 3A. If it wanted me to knock, I wouldn't. If it wanted me to listen, I would. At 2:03, the scrape happened 3 feet above my head. It felt like someone pushing furniture across my scalp. I tasted sawdust. My phone vibrated. Do not count the knocks. So of course I counted. 1, 2, 3, a pause. 1, 2, 3. The pattern children use when they're not sure if you're home. The door knows I'm home, I thought. The thought arrived too easily, like it had been placed out where I'd find it. I stood. The peephole went black. I didn't move. Whoever was on the other side was inches away and almost patient. My hand rose without my permission and hovered at the distance of a knock. My phone saved me. It vibrated with such urgency, it felt like a small animal trapped in my pocket. It learns your rhythm first, then your name. I backed down the stairs on wobbly legs, every step rehearsed by whoever had done this before me. The next day, the building group chat. Yes, we have one. And yes, it's mostly complaints about laundry. Pinged with a message from my number. Anyone know if 3A has a spare key? I hadn't sent it. Replies came quick. It's empty. Ed has one. Why? Then a DM from a neighbor on 1C. Are you locked out? I typed no and stopped. I typed ignore that and stopped again. I typed someone's using my number and chose not to hit send because even typing that had felt like feeding a stray. That night I stacked books at my own front door and pushed the couch 2 inches to the left. I don't know why I did that second part. It made the room feel wrong. Maybe wrong was safer than familiar. 2:03. The ceiling dragged. The books didn't vibrate. The couch did. A sympathetic shiver. My phone lit the room like a small lighthouse. Stop moving your furniture. It confuses us. Us. I didn't sleep. I lay there and listened to the building rearrange the after-image of a life that had already left. The next morning I checked the recorder. The tape had kept rolling for an hour after I hit stop. The last minute captured something I wish I could unknow. A soft scrape exactly where my couch had been yesterday. It had memorized my layout. The building was practicing. That afternoon, I pressed my ear to the wall behind my bed. There's a hollow there where the studs miss each other. I heard nothing, until I did. A whisper, faint and indifferent, like a voice giving instructions to someone who didn't need them. 203, move the couch. 205, drag the rug. 206, knock 3 times. 207, wait. I stepped back so fast I hit my shin on the frame. I considered a hotel. I considered moving. I considered asking Ed to change the locks on 3A even though he'd laugh and put the work order on top of the pile where rumors go to die. What I did instead was worse than any of those. I decided to prove to myself that it was all a script, and scripts can be broken. I waited in the hall at 2:02 with my phone on record and my finger on the flashlight. The light in the stairwell blinked once like it wanted to try. 2:03. Silence. 2:04. Silence. 2:05. A single knock. Too low. Not from 3A. From behind me, inside my own apartment door. I turned. The peephole on 2B was dark. My phone buzzed with a new message from my number. You moved the scene. Don't open. Don't ask who. Don't count. Don't answer. I stood in that narrow space between 2 doors, mine and the empty one above, while something familiar practiced patience on both sides. I didn't open. I didn't knock. I went back inside and leaned my whole weight against the door until the wood remembered me. Last night, I did the only thing left. I set the recorder on the floor. I placed my phone on the table, face down. I put a chair in the center of the room and sat with my hands on my knees. When 2:03 arrived, the scrape rolled over my ceiling and then stopped halfway, like it had forgotten what came next without my help. At 2:06, 3 knocks sounded either a foot above my head or a foot inside it. A text, gentle and inevitable as weather. We can move it for you. Say yes. I took a breath that didn't belong to me. I exhaled it like a secret I didn't want. I turned the phone over and typed the smallest word I own. No. A longer pause this time. Then, we only need your rhythm. I put the phone face down again and pressed my palms to my thighs so hard my nails left moons. Do not answer, I told myself. Do not feed the schedule. Do not be the metronome. The building settled. The recorder's red light blinked with the slow confidence of a heartbeat. 2:12, 2:20, 2:45, nothing but the occasional sigh of old wood counting down to sleep. I made it to dawn. I made coffee that tasted like paper and victory. I almost smiled at the ceiling. That's how stupid relief makes you. Then I noticed a new detail in my living room. The couch I moved 2 inches left. It had drifted back overnight, perfectly aligned where it used to be. The rug corner I tuck under the leg to keep it from curling. Untucked. In its place, directly under where the ceiling scrape always begins, someone had drawn a neat pencil mark on the wall. 2:03. Under it, in a hand that looks a lot like mine but better at writing while standing. Good. Don't help. We learn slower. I stood there until my coffee went cold, and the day found other windows to use. Tonight the plan is simple and impossible. When it drags, I won't stand. When it knocks, I won't count. When the text arrives, I won't reply. I'll sit in the chair and let the building forget me 1 minute at a time until 2:03 means nothing again. If it asks for my rhythm, I'll give it silence. If it asks for my name, I'll give it no one. And if you live under an empty apartment and hear furniture moving where there isn't any, promise me this. Do not knock. You don't want to find out what moves the couch when nobody lives there, and you don't want it to learn your pace. I'm typing this at 1:59 a.m. The ceiling is quiet. The hall light just clicked off. My phone is face down and far away. 2:03 is coming. I'm going to do nothing. I didn't answer, didn't stand, didn't breathe until the phone dimmed and the air gave back what it had taken.